Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at Holy Paladins in ranked 3v3 arenas, their talents, Azerite traits, and corruptions, as well as some tricks inside the arena that may give you and your allies an advantage. Let's get started. So to start, we're going to take a peek at the talents. Now we're running a pretty standard Glimmer build with the exception of two tiers. The level 30 tier, we're going to be using Cavalier instead of Unbreakable Spirit. Cavalier is just going to allow for us to have that second charge of the Divine Steed, which will help us get away from some nastier classes like the Demon Hunter. And on the 45 level tier, we're using Repentance. That 7-second incapacitate that you can drop right after a Hammer of Justice can really help your DPS teammates get the kill in some of those more crucial moments of the arena. Next, we're going to be looking at the Azerite traits you're going to want to run for 3s. Now, obviously to start, you want 3 Glimmer of Lights. That's kind of what makes the whole cookie crumble with the Glimmer build. So you're going to need one of those on each piece. Stepping down from there, I like running a Indomitable Justice or 2. Helps give a little bit more meat to your judgments, which can be used to help keep people in combat, obviously from a range, as well as be used as a little bit of a finisher when DPS start running away. Moving down from there, Overwhelming Power is by far going to be your strongest tertiary trait that you will want to stack on as many pieces of gear as you're able to get. And then the other Paladin specific trait that I like to run is Light's Decree. Light's Decree is actually a retribution trait, but you can take it as holy if you spec over into ret when you're assigning the traits on your piece. It just extends your Avenging Wrath by 5 seconds. The remainder of the trait is inaccessible to us, just due to specialization, but that extra 5 seconds on Avenging Wrath is quite helpful. Next thing we're going to take a look at is Corruption. Now, I am by no means running Ideal Corruption, but I am running what I'm running because I want my secondary stats to look the way they do. Critical Strike, you want to be between 30 and 40% just so that your Holy Shocks can proc more effective critical uses of Flashlight and Holy Light, even though Flashlight you're really not going to be using in arenas. And I'll tell you why here in a second. But I'm running haste buffs. You really want to be running Mind Flay. Any of the damaging corruptions are going to be good, but Mind Flay is great for 2 reasons. A, because it does a ton of damage. So if they ignore it, they're going to take a ton of damage from that. And B, because if they don't ignore it, it's almost a damage reduction because they're having to refocus their energy to use a single target ability to kill that tentacle that they could be using on you. And that helps. Mind Flays will attack them. If it links onto them, it'll attack them through walls. It'll attack them over a great range. So they really do have to change their focus to handle that, or remove themselves from the situation where they can self-heal themselves and kind of negate it. So it just adds a little bit of chaos to their world in the arenas, and any of their chaos you can use to your benefit. Last thing we're going to be taking a look at is the PvP talents. Now, Gladiator's Medallion is kind of a no-duh. That is just the go-to in competitive arenas. Ultimate Sacrifice is a massive cooldown that changes your Blessing of Sacrifice to transfer 100% of the damage to you, as long as you're above 20% health. It almost treats itself like it's an additional bubble in that sense, but it affects magic and physical damage. So that is a massive cooldown, and it makes it easy because you can use that on an ally that's about to go down. And then the next 2 traits that you have are going to allow you to immediately pop that person back up to 100%. The next one is Light's Grace. Increases healing done by your Holy Light by 50%, and your Holy Light reduces all damage the target receives by 5% for 8 seconds, and that stacks up to 3 times. So I said earlier that you're not really going to be using Flash of Light very much. It's because Holy Light kind of becomes the dominant casting heal that you're going to be using in here, and also because of Defined Favor. Your next Holy Light or Flash of Light is increased by 100%, costs no mana, and is unable to be interrupted. So if you get a Holy Shock crit that causes for increased cast speed of Holy Light, and then you're also using Defined Favor, and you're also using Light's Grace, you're getting a DR placed on your ally, you're getting a massive heal placed on your ally, and it's what gives Holy Pally the utility that they have in arenas, being able to bring your teammates from 1% health up to 80% or even 100 time and time again, bringing them back from the brink of death. Now, the first group that we're going up against is a Rogue, Fire Mage, and a Resto Druid. Now, typically with Rogues, you want to try to get in combat as quickly as possible as a healer so they can't get that sap off on you. Obviously, since everybody has stealth to start out, that's not really an option here. However, we're able to kind of recover from it, and they go pretty hard on the Shaman. You can see as they continue to put pressure on my Shaman, I decide to pop the Greater Blessing of Sacrifice on him, which is why my health starts to plummet and his goes up. However, I'm able to pop that Divine Shield while they focus the Rogue and finish him off, which gives us the win. Now with this team, there's a lot of things that we got to worry about. There's obviously a lot of output from the DK and the Warlock. However, my primary goal as the healer is to keep my CCs up on that Mistweaver as often as I'm able to. This will allow for my teammates to really push the health down and inevitably get that kill. That is the real power of Greater Blessing of Sacrifice really going to work. Here you can see what I was talking about with those twisted appendages, those mind flays. He's having to come over and focus it down instead of put damage on the rest of the team. Now here you can see I'm winding up for that long CC, just dropped the Hammer of Justice on the Monk. When it ticks down to a second, I'm going to start casting Repentance, and boom, he's got another 7-second CC on him, and this gives my team the opportunity to burn down that DK. Now, we won't have as many crafty CCs in this match, but you will get to see why I like taking Indomitable Justice as an Azerite trait, and even Crucible of Flame as a essence if you'd like, because it does crushing damage. It can help get those last finishing blows you need on an enemy. That one ability did 10% of his overall health, and that's huge when you're running with a warrior who can then benefit from him being within execute range. Alright guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video, and if you have any questions, comments, critiques, please let me know in the comments section below. Thank you, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.